Jesus made a whip and used it to chase the money changers out of the temple. Now, does this permit us to use violence against wrongdoers also? Well, the first thing we need to look at is the difference in authority. Jesus had God's authority in everything that he did, including this. His chastisement of someone is God's chastisement of someone. So while we want to live Christ-like lives, we shouldn't try to claim his authority when it hasn't been given to us. So the question is whether God at any point has either restricted us or granted us permission to use measures of violence in certain situations. Well, one of those situations is in self-defense, and this is the plainest answer that I can give you on this topic. Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. Many people today, including Christians, don't like this command and would rather interpret it differently as meaning that you shouldn't verbally attack someone if someone insults you, or some other such metaphor. This is simply ridiculous. Christians are always being accused of taking things literally which are supposed to be allegorical, and this is an instance of the exact opposite. Jesus is obviously speaking in literal terms here, which is especially clear when you see that directly after this command, Jesus gives several others, all with the same theme of not resisting evil when it comes against you, and being a humble servant to everyone. Do not defend yourself from attackers. That is a direct command from Jesus. But what about the defense of innocence? It's one thing to willingly allow yourself to be subjected to violence, but quite another more complex situation where you have the power and ability to prevent violence to somebody else by committing an act of violence yourself. The Bible doesn't give a specific command on using violence to protect innocence. However, there are some examples of people in the Bible disobeying God's laws in order to protect innocence. Exodus 1:15-21 says, And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shiphrah and the name of the other Puah. And he said, When ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him, but if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives, and said unto them, Why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore God dealt with the midwives, and the people multiplied, and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. 1 Kings 18:4 says, For it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord, that Obadiah took 100 prophets, and hid them by 50 in a cave, and fed them with bread and water. Joshua 2:3-6 says, And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out the whole country. And the woman took the 2 men, and hid them, and said thus, There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. And it came to pass about the time of the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. In these examples, not only do the God-fearing people disobey their authorities as the Lord tells us not to do, but they also lie to them, all in order to protect innocence. Without the express command from God permitting or forbidding violence to protect innocence, this principle is as close as we can get, that the protection of innocence takes precedence over the other commandments that God has given us. This is shown by God favoring those who break his laws in order to protect innocence. In other words, God has given us the authority to break his laws if it means protecting innocence. Thank you very much for watching all of this video. If you did like it, you can check out one of these other ones that are somewhere around here. You can also subscribe by clicking on the big gift thing there-ish. And if you had anything to think about this video, anything that you want to say, then please do leave a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching.